mostly hung out with metaverse community. So for me personally, it was that. I wish I had more time to experience the whole thing. I had a great time. I actually thought about you. I've been thinking about you in the event in Miami. I was able to take over some LCD screens and I also did visuals. So during my visuals, I had a slideshow and some video. Some of those NFTs included was our collab.
Yeah.
So I still haven't posted pictures. Honestly, I've been just kind of recovering from Miami. But yeah, it was cool because I was able to, share with others like what we worked on, and it was there for people to see. It looked really nice. That was the Miami thing for me.
Nice. Welcome back.
And then this weekend, there was another event here in New York as well. I did a VR showcase. I had the same slideshow running. I was able to share our collab as well. So I am honestly trying to recover from public places and events. Takes a lot of energy, I think, but all good.
I've got a little project here that I wanted to share and help some people out. So this is a very popular question that I've seen. How do I find all of the NFT contracts on the blockchain? The reason people are asking is because they want to make a scanner, marketplace, or some type of a tool we'd never even thought of. I'll show everybody this little tool I made. And if you want to use it, if you want to make a little project, do it. This is community, so we check back in, the next week, the next month, years later. So this project, Contract Scanner, it's a tool to find all NFT contracts on an EVM blockchain. So that would mean on Ethereum, on Tron, Polygon, whatever. You would run this tool separately on each network. This uses Node, Yarn, and you install it with the normal Yarn install. And it's just one file. There's no fluff, and I'll just explain why we're doing this. So this is going to be connected to mainnet through Infura. You're welcome to use other providers, but you need some type of connection to the Web3. This is going to be a scanner. It's going to run a while. So it's going to run the whole blockchain, millions and millions of blocks, checking every contract. So it's going to save it somewhere to a database. It's going to start with the most recent block and go backwards in time to the beginning. I guess you could stop at some point to whatever you consider. Well, this is ERC 721, so you would stop at SU squares. That's the first ERC 721. If you're using some other type of search, then you would stop whenever you want. You don't have to go back to block number 1. We're going to check each block as we process it. So we're just going to put the block into the database, and this block's been processed. Should be a primary key. Next, we're going to check the outputs. So the input is the block, and the output is the contracts. The contract is some address, and it's either ERC 721 or it's not. This also should have an index. If you want to contribute to this project, add an index. And so here's the search. Search from the current block and then go backwards. It needs to know how to check whether something is ERC 721 or not. We're going to interrogate using ERC 165. That's this. And the thing we're going to interrogate whether or not it is a ERC 721. Search starts with block to search. And the first thing it's going to do is see if we already did that block. If so, we're going to skip it. Next step is the way we're going to perform this search is we're going to look for a transfer event. It would not find it until it performs a transfer. If instead you need to find an ERC 721 contract immediately when it deploys, then you would need to modify the search. It's going to search for all the transfer events in this block. There's got to be some rate limiting here. You can't hit it full speed unless you own the node. If we've got a list of all the transfer events, there could be multiple transfers on the same contract, other duplicate. If we already processed it, then we don't need to process it. The way we're going to check is we're going to check from the second database of the contracts, regardless of whether it is or is not an ERC 721. We're going to see if we processed it before, and if so, we're going to skip it. Next, we're going to interrogate, and because an ERC 721 contract is a 165 contract, we can just use the ERC 165 API to interrogate it. There could be different outcomes, a yes or no, it could be some type of an error. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the result to 0. Then we're going to perform the test. If the test comes out, it is an ERC 721, then it's going to come out with a yes, a 1. Otherwise, it's going to stay 0. Then we're going to insert that into the database, print it out the screen with some emoji. And when the loop is done, we're going to just say that this block is done and just go to the next block. That's it. When you're done, it's going to have the result in the database. You can use the command line. So that would be SQLite 3, and then whatever the database is called, .dump, or you can run an actual select query like this.
Hello, hello.
There you go.
I'm doing well. Currently learning how to make some virtual clothing this week, so that's fun and new.
Virtual clothing, what's it going to go on?
Likely Snapchat, because they have some body tracking in their AR capabilities.
Wow.
They've had some body tracking for a while now, but now it's able to get beyond a boxy t-shirt that's hovering on you and into more intricate objects, so I've been playing around with that.
I just found out there's a Mac app that can run your Snapchat filters.
Oh, really? What
Yeah.
is this app?
It's called Snap Camera. It runs on Mac. It gives you a virtual camera. So OBS, I'm using OBS right now. And so if I really wanted to, I could take, if you're watching on Twitch, like here's my output. Here's what I'm broadcasting on Twitch. I could turn that into a virtual camera. There's a button here, start virtual camera. And if I joined a Zoom call or whatever, then this would actually be my camera.
That's awesome.
You can use Snap Camera, add these ears on you. I could be on this call right now or on a Google Meet.
Very cool. All right, I'll have to play around with this. Thanks for sharing that.
Nice. See, we just 10-upled your addressable market.
Yes, yes.
Because, I mean, previously, Ellie makes filters, lenses,
Filters, yeah.
and you can use them in Snapchat, but now you can use them for all your business calls, too.
Yeah, that sounds fun. You can be a piece of pop art on your video work call.
This is really important. There's a strong appetite, especially in Web3, in the game space, to make cross-platform stuff. The 3D files, and even the 3D files, are not compatible across games. And there's a lot more than just the artwork to make things compatible. However, filters. Snap is probably...
Yeah, Snap is definitely more robust than Meta, Spark for Instagram, and then now TikTok is the newest one.
You know, a lot of people think about blockchain. The business plan is there's some messy market, like games. Adopt blockchain. Now everything's compatible. That's the thought, because blockchain's new, and there are just a few companies, and they have 99% market share. Everything's compatible is because they have somebody dominating the market, not because blockchain makes anything more compatible.
Do you know if Fortnite uses any blockchain capabilities? Because they're so big right now. I don't know if it's just all in their system.
They have nothing blockchain, and they have publicly said that they're not considering anything about blockchain. And so they do have a long-term view. And plus, Epic is just such a great company. And I really respect what they're doing. What they're doing with suing Apple, that's a 10-year plan.
Yeah, the App Store thing will be very interesting to see how that plays out, because I'm sure it will not be quick and easy, whatever the outcome is.
Yeah, and Epic's on the right side of history. Europe has legislated this, something Markets Act. Apple has been rumored to goes live 2024, basically do what Epic is asking. And interesting times ahead.
Definitely. So much changing.
You're using Lens Studio? Is that what you're using?
Yeah, so Lens Studio for Snapchat, Meta Spark if it's for Instagram or Facebook. And then you use like Blender for 3D stuff, or I've been using Marvelous Designer for clothing, because it's just way more fun to do clothing in that program. But yeah, Snap is pretty cool. I'll be curious to see what they do with the spectacles and then the drone that they made.
I got one in my hand right here. The drone, the Pixie.
It's so cute.
And you just... The bad news is they're done with it.
Yeah, that stinks. Drones are definitely going through a pretty big fad lately, and having one that's already tied to a social media account seems like it would make sense.
Actually wasn't happy about that, but then I learned if you just plug it into a computer, it works just like a camera.
All right, well, maybe I'll have to scour eBay for one and see if...
For sure, and get it soon, because there's a limited supply, and that means the price is only going to go up.
Will do.
What's up, 37?
Nothing much. I've been using most of my Web3 knowledge I've been learning here in class to work on 2 separate smart contract projects. One of them, I think I have brought it up here in class before. It's like a platform. It's similar to GitHub, you could say. In a sense, it's designed to help keep track of different areas in your project. For instance, I might have a project where I have images, videos, 3D models. I might have a listing on eBay. I might have all these different sites that I'm utilizing. This site helps you put all of that into one big timeline. And it makes it easy because we can add plugins to it on the fly. If there's something on one site that we really like Twitter, for instance, we can easily put the content in an iframe. It's more than just an iframe. There's like a shadow DOM and stuff too to help isolate the JavaScript content. What's really cool about it is it takes all that and it allows you to mint an NFT out of it. An OpenSea compatible JSON NFT. Let's say you have a project, you want someone to help fund you for that project, you can mint an NFT for it. And the idea would be someone that's willing to sponsor you. Maybe there's like a perk behind your project, someone holding the token, someone's able to do that. Someone's able to fund you for your project. So it's supposed to give a little more utility than classic NFTs that you typically see in the space, because it makes all these different mediums that you might have for your project, maybe a blueprint or something that it's very hard to express on a typical PDF document. It allows you to express all that into a readable format. A lot of things I've been applying from these classes is from a security standpoint, what to do if someone finds like a flaw in your smart contract. What are some aftermath tactics you can use to either recover funds or keep all the other users safe? And also, what are some ways to give up certain controls? So once you release your white paper, it doesn't seem like you have some crazy backdoor that's maybe used for like recovering funds or something. You wouldn't want one person to have that power, of course. You want to somehow break up or decentralize these control mechanisms. One thing I've had a lot of trouble with developing in the Web3 space is how do I implement stuff securely? Because the update mechanism isn't traditional software where I could be like, oh, here's a quick patch, everyone update. Nope. What I code now is here forever. It's set in stone. And I guess some of the stuff I described goes on to this other project I'm working on. I kind of want to bring up a lot of gray area in the gaming world. It's someone else's product, it's someone else's intellectual property, and Minecraft is a perfect example. You can't just put an NFT in there because they own it and they can sue you for having it. So I'm trying to work on the smart contract where you buy an NFT and you can essentially use it to spin up a server. There's a lot of people out there that want their own gaming server, whether it's like a Minecraft server, a GTA server, and there's a lot of stuff you got to do to set it up. It's pretty annoying. So it'd be cool if you could just go to a place, buy an NFT, that NFT represents one server or one node that the system allows you to like easily host other game servers on. Do you have an NFT? Yes, you have an NFT. Okay, give me like 2 minutes. Okay, cool. Here's an FQDN. Here's a subdomain. This is where your server is. Maybe I let them name it. Then that's it. One thing I want to do is modded game servers. With Minecraft, like there's a lot of different configuration stances. You can make it like a one-click thing. Then they're just paying for the convenience for configuring something. There's a lot of gray area stuff there, but it's an interesting way to tie NFTs to the game space.
That's a really interesting space. Minecraft's been around for a while. People still love setting up servers. The type of people that set up servers are amenable to this stuff. There's got to be people out there selling Minecraft servers as a service.
There is. Yep. There's a lot of them. I haven't seen one that does it using NFTs or anything like that. They usually use Stripe or PayPal or something like that.
If you're doing something Web3, the market is always smaller than if you did the same thing with Web2. So the first step to setting up that business, which I think is a great idea, is to just copy what everybody else is doing and set up a Web2 payment system. From there, then you just add on NFT Pass. There's some really cool stuff you can do when you're hosting the server. You can run other software on there. And since you're a service provider, you have access to things that the NFT holder doesn't. For example, leaderboards.
Yep.
You could have a public website that shows who's the leader, what are the score points, and just log the amount of hours that each account spends. Have each person validate in-game by sending a chat message, this is my Ethereum account, and then it could give out points or whatever on Web3, Polygon or any other network or no network at all, irrevocably, permanently, irrepudiably have everybody's scores from the Minecraft server. Oh, and PS, once they have enough Minecraft server points, that they automatically get a role in Discord because that's already built.
I see. Even though there's all these different nodes out there, like different servers that people are running, as the host provider, you can unify like the scores together like that.
That's called federation. So you can do federation of that. Even if they're individualized, that doesn't matter. For example, I'm on a server for Warcraft 2. There's probably 2 main servers out there. They're both self-hosted, exactly the type of thing you're talking about. They have a web page. It's got a list of what games are running, past game results, the leaderboard, they call it ladder. There's probably a smaller community for Warcraft 2 than there is for Minecraft. What they might integrate is that the people in Discord, you could get a role if you're logged into the server right now. You could be score gating, leaderboard gating. You could do all these things. You might as well give out an NFT for being the top on the leaderboard. You could even revoke NFTs. They could be temporary. They could be torches. I don't know if we have a word for that in NFT where we can take it away and it only goes to like the top person. Whatever that's called. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe you come up with a name for that because I haven't seen anybody else do that.
These are some really interesting ideas. You would just have to implement this slightly differently like each time, but that isn't like all that challenging.
Have you heard some Minecraft servers you could use crypto to buy items, and Microsoft came out and banned that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm avoiding doing anything in game if I don't own the game, that is, right? The game hosting sector in itself could be a place, kind of like quote unquote decentralized Steam in one place. Like Steam tracks like your achievements, your inventory items, etc. Like you can definitely use like a Ethereum wallet like ID just to track all those same things like that Steam already does.
And we could also think about what other popular moddable games.
I recently saw Rockstar come out with some drama.
I found the policy on Rockstar website not allowing Rockstar trademarks or intellectual property. You can't use it outside the game. And I'm sure you can't say like this is a Rockstar NFT. Importation or misuse of other IP in the product. Don't take music outside the game that you don't have a license to and sell it inside the game. Obvious. Number 3, commercial exploitation, including sale of loot boxes. So taking the things that are in the game and selling them for real world currency or in-game equivalent. Okay, that makes sense because you don't actually own the loot boxes in the game. You have a license to the loot boxes in the game. Some people don't understand that first sale doctrine does not apply to in-game things. Sale of virtual currencies or generating revenue via corporate sponsorships or in-game integrations. Revenue by in-game integrations. Okay, I don't know what that means. Or the use of cryptocurrencies or NFTs. So commercial exploitation for cryptocurrencies or crypto assets. That's not clear. Is the use inside the game or outside the game? Making new games, stories, missions, or maps. So that's not allowed. That's weird. Okay, you can't make maps on GTA. Or interfering with multiplayer or online games, including GTA Online or Red Dead Online.
Can I point out something interesting about that is 5M, the company that allows you to host your servers and whatnot. I think the loophole that they used with this even is that their software doesn't use GTA Online. It uses the single player part of it to do the multiplayer so that others can like connect in the same world and whatnot.
Did that work?
They don't seem to be in legal trouble. They even made a notice about replying to this, and they seem to be in agreement with everything that Rockstar said here. They seem unfazed by this.
Interesting. It's funny that they bucket all use of cryptocurrencies, what they call crypto assets, as commercial exploitations.
But I like your angle.
Yeah.
I think your angle is far away from any of that stuff. It's not even close.
Have you started on any of this, or?
I've built like the system that just helps you bootstrap a bunch of like different game servers. I built that part, and then what I was working on now was this listener that just looks for new NFT IDs that exist, and it just takes the NFT and the metadata and it uses it to like spin up a server for like an X amount of time. I just have to basically make this mechanism that just does the time tracking on the server so that it expires the server accordingly. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I guess the issue, like, and I know you've said this before here, Will, is that, like, if we open source the smart contract, others could help look at it for security issues and
yeah, bring it. Put your links into the file. We can go to it next week. Specific questions are just broad or whatever. That's why we're here, is to make this stuff work.
Yeah, I have 2 of them. So one is going to be this gaming one, and the other one is the project that allows you to. It's like GitHub. It's actually a fork of your. I think I've said this before. It's a fork of your spend DRC.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a fork of that. I just added more control mechanisms to it to help stop someone from, for instance, spreading the spender rule, going around and making new spenders, finding a way to break up the power in case somehow it falls in the wrong hands. You'll see the mechanisms.
That's cool.